A powerful tornado tore through central Florida on Monday, destroying at least one home, damaging several others, and uprooting trees as it carved a nearly 2-mile path of destruction, officials said. The National Weather Service confirmed that the tornado, which packed winds of up to 115 miles per hour, touched down around 9:40 a.m. in Lake Mary and moved northeast at 30 miles per hour, passing through Sanford. Tornado warnings were issued for Seminole, Volusia, and Sarasota counties as the storm raced through the region. The twister was caught on camera moving across Interstate 4, just north of Orlando, and even passed in front of a local TV station while a meteorologist was on air. Officials described scenes of widespread minor damage, with overturned semi-trailers, fallen trees, and scattered debris, including roof shingles, garage doors, and car parts. There was a significant amount of minor damage in Seminole County, one emergency official said. We had to work around downed trees just to access some areas. In Longwood, a home in the 2100 block of Blue Iris collapsed with 2 people inside. Firefighters said the house crumbled on all sides except for one front corner, where the residents had taken shelter. Both escaped unharmed. As nightfall approached, authorities said about 500 residents remained without power. We're working with Duke Energy and Florida Power and Light to restore service as quickly as possible, officials said. If power is still out after dark, we will deploy additional patrol deputies and anti-crime units in affected areas. Despite the extensive damage, no injuries were reported. Officials urged residents to stay clear of downed power lines, emphasizing the risk of electrocution. According to the NWS report, the tornado touched down just east of Waikkiwa Springs State Park before barreling through the Wingfield Reserve neighborhood with peak winds up to 95 miles per hour. When the tornado moved into the Whispering Winds subdivision, it briefly produced winds up to 115 miles per hour, reaching an EF2 rating. The tornado continued across Markham Woods Road before crossing Interstate 4 in Lake Mary, where Fox 35 Orlando video captured the tornado's winds and rain bands. The tornado's path covered about 4 miles and lasted 15 minutes, according to the survey. NWS officials said they will continue to survey damage in Lake Mary on Monday afternoon to determine where the tornado ended. Reporter Amanda McKenzie showed scenes of downed tree branches, signs, and even a brick wall brought down by a tree in the Whispering Winds neighborhood of Lake Mary. A lot of debris on the ground. Several first responders are on the scene, McKenzie said. We are hearing that several homes on this street are damaged. Another Fox 35 reporter showed damage to their car and other vehicles in the TV station's parking lot. These storms are part of an upper-level low moving over Alabama, Florida, and Georgia. The low will continue moving eastward throughout the day and eventually push offshore by the evening. A woman in Lake Mary, Florida, near Orlando, recorded as an EF2 tornado pummeled the area as she hunkered down in her car. You can hear her frightened voice as debris and heavy rains hit her car and trees bent in the heavy wind. The video shows debris slamming into the windshield as the vehicle rocked back and forth. Rangel said it only lasted about 40 seconds, but she thought those were her last 40 seconds alive. On the brink of tears, she recalled the terrifying moments. I got under the co-pilot area because obviously the van doesn't have a door to the back, only the side door, Rangel said. I told myself to keep recording until the wind stopped because the van was shaking me. Residents described harrowing moments as the tornado tore through their neighborhood. I got under the co-pilot area because obviously the van doesn't have a door to the back, only the side door, said Rangel, who recorded the tornado from inside her work van. I told myself to keep recording until the wind stopped because the van was shaking me. Patrick Sless, whose home was damaged, reflected on the destruction. "That's not my roof," he said, pointing to debris with different colored shingles. "You can tell by the different colored shingles, they still have their Christmas lights on." Jack Fitch recalled the storm's deafening sound. "They always say a train, but to me, it sounded like a jet," he said. A few seconds later, debris started hitting all the windows. "My wife said we better get in the closet, so we did, and a short time later it was over." Despite the devastation, residents expressed gratitude that there were no fatalities. "We were really blessed," Fitch said. "It could have been so much worse for us."
Deputies as well as fire trucks.
Reports of widespread damage are emerging across Seminole County after severe storms swept through the area, including a tornado that touched down in Lake Mary on Monday morning.
Oh my gosh.
A semi-truck driver and his dog were resting and riding out the storm in Lake Mary as the severe thunderstorm moved through the area. The unnamed man spoke to reporters in Spanish. The man told reporters that he was resting in his truck when he felt the trailer lift and then flip over. He said he had never experienced that before, but was glad no one was hurt. You can listen to that interview below.
"It literally came down the side of our house."
One person was killed and several were injured following severe storms that rolled through Texas during the first half of the weekend. A quick-moving cold front helped produce the severe weather, which was centered south of Dallas, and included large hail and damaging winds. It is with deep sorrow that we report the tragic loss of a 42-year-old man from Midlothian as a result of this incident. Our heartfelt condolences go out to his family, friends, and loved ones. We kindly ask you to keep this family in your thoughts and prayers. All city departments are actively working on the recovery process following this severe weather incident, the Ennis Police Department said in a statement. A wall of a metal grocery store in Ennis was blown off during wind gusts estimated at 70 to 80 miles per hour by the National Weather Service. Meanwhile, gusts estimated at 80 to 90 miles per hour partially tore the roof off a family home and damaged their garage in Waxahachie, the NWS said. During the height of the activity, more than 11,000 customers lost power in Ellis County as the storm swept through, findenergy.com reported. In Granbury, 3 bays suffered wind damage with several sunken boats and jet skis, according to the NWS, citing local emergency managers. Down the road in Toller, winds down to 2-mile stretch of power poles, the NWS said. The NWS office in Dallas stated that it did not plan to survey any of the hardest hit areas, as the initial storm damage was linked to hail and strong winds, rather than tornadoes.